Most founders sound exactly like the competition. If you want to be competitive in a crowded market, you can't just be better, you have to be different. I'm your host, Cameron Olds.
And I'm Dallin Merrill, and we're here to talk about how you can avoid being mistaken for your competition, differentiate your brand, and ultimately create a lasting competitive advantage for yourself in the market.
Welcome to Differentiate or Die. This episode of Differentiate or Die is brought to you by MessageOS. And by brought to you by, we mean written by.
If your team describes your product 10 different ways, your product is no longer differentiated. It's confusing, and so are your customers.
MessageOS helps big teams keep every sales deck, social caption, and support reply on message and on brand.
Clear, consistent, differentiated. Every time someone talks about you.
See how it works at protagonistcomms.co.
Cameron, do you have any crazy airport stories? What's your worst airport story?
I have two, actually. One's probably worse than the other. But I was serving my LDS mission in the Dominican Republic. And for those of you who don't know, that means that I lived in the Dominican Republic for 2 years away from my family. And at the end of this 2 years, you obviously get to go home. And it's a big day. And part of that big day is obviously they take you to the airport and you're excited because you haven't seen your family in 2 years and like in a couple of hours you're going to see them. Super exciting, but also super nerve-wracking because as we all know, airports can be treacherous. And I was dropped off at the airport. I was getting ready to go on my flight. I was through security. I could see the gate, Daryl. I could see my gate. I could see the plane that was taking me home. And I was so close, and as I was stepping away from security, some official came up and said, there's something wrong with not just your documents, but all of your documents. And he pointed to all these other missionaries that were behind me. And he wouldn't let us through. And so I was delayed going home by 10 hours. I got home, I was supposed to get home in the afternoon at noon. I got home at 1 a.m. the next day.
Oh man, what was wrong with the documents?
Someone forgot to pay some stupid fee somewhere. I had a new mission president who's the guy in charge of the mission. I was his first send home, so he didn't know what the frick he was doing. And so somehow something wasn't paid and I was delayed 10 hours going home. So that's my worst airport experience.
Did you have to sleep in the airport?
No, we got on a plane in the evening. So we had to lay over in New York. So we flew to New York and then from New York we flew to Utah. So we got on pretty decent, but I was well, this sucks.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, my worst story was in Cape Verde. We were, I was visiting with my wife. We were there and my parents were also there. We had rented a rental car, and when we went to bring it back, the guy was like, great, awesome, let's bring you up to the counter and we'll get you checked out.
This already sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So when we got there, he had a guy go check out the car and make sure everything was good. When the guy comes back, he's like, you guys don't get your deposit back, which is $400. He's like, yeah, there's some scratches on the front of the car. You guys didn't take care of it. And we were like, are you kidding me? Scratches on the front of the car? We never hit anyone. We never did anything. We're like, no, that wasn't us. We didn't hit anyone. And he's like, yeah, it was there's scratches on the front of the car. We'll come show you guys. And he's like, I have some pictures right here. And we're like, how do you know that was us? It's probably there before. And plus, this is Cape Verde, so all of their roads are not great. So
right.
There's bumps all over the place. All of their cars have scratches on the front of their cars, right? It's no secret. They're all not they're not beat up, but yeah, I mean, the front bumpers, the front bumpers are a little bit scratched up. And so we were like, no, if you're going to charge us, I want a picture of what this looked like before we got it, because I promised those scratches were there before too. But he's like, no, like that's not how it works. Like, do you guys have pictures? We're like, no, like we didn't take, like that's not our job to take pictures. So lesson learned. Next time I get a rental car, I'll take pictures.
There you go.
And the worst part about it was like there was little time to fight because we had to get on our plane. We had to go. We couldn't just stay there we had tickets. So yeah, we ended up paying like $400 extra for that rental. It's such a scam. They could say that. They probably say that every time, right?
Probably.
It's like probably something that they do over and over. So that's my worst airport story. And it goes right into what we're going to talk about today is 2 rental car companies. I don't think this is new or special. I think that rental car companies have a bad rap.
Yes. So
let's get into it today.
Let's jump into it. We're talking Enterprise, and we're talking a newer. I'm not sure when Enterprise was founded, but newer company called Turo. 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 So, what do you know about Enterprise, Daryl?
Yeah, so I think they're the biggest.
Probably.
When you think of rental car companies, you got Enterprise and you got Hertz, and there's a myriad of different ones, but I think the biggest is probably Enterprise.
Yep.
And they were started in 1957. They're not the oldest, but they did get they grew pretty quickly. They were a little bit, they did differentiate at the beginning. They didn't focus on being in the airport, actually, which is really interesting because that's what you would think is like, okay, if I'm going to the airport, I want it easy so that I can just get my car and go. But they actually had this model that we'll pick you up. So we'll pick you up from the airport, and that became their differentiator that made them big.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, I've heard that, like Enterprise will pick you up. So that was their thing at the beginning was everyone, do you know if there were other rental companies that would just stay at the airport and you would go to the counter and rent your car after you had deplaned?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, cool. And then these guys were like, no, we'll pick you up.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I mean, I think people liked it because it was like, I don't have to stay in the airport. Like I'm done with the airport. Get me out of here.
Right.
So we'll pick you up. We'll take you to our nicer office. It's not just a counter. We'll get you the car you want, and then you're on your way. So that's kind of where they differentiated.
That's actually super interesting. Kind of an easy moat to get across for another company like Hertz, I would imagine, because you just like assign someone to go drive the car to wherever.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
So I wouldn't say that's a huge moat, and clearly, because I feel like pickup services for rental cars, I don't feel like that's totally uncommon nowadays. No. Is that pretty common?
Yeah, and a lot of them do like buses. They will bus you to their office or something. Yeah, I've done that before too. So there's different methods and things have changed. I don't feel like Enterprise has really kept, because I've definitely seen Enterprise in airports.
Right.
They're definitely in airports now too. So
yes. So OG will pick you up, differentiator with the beginning, probably a little stale now. Here's the newcomer, Turo. Turo, kind of cool. So I actually used Turo because my wife and I went on a belated honeymoon to Hawaii 2 years ago. And instead of Ubering around everywhere, we rented a car through Turo, not through Hertz or through Enterprise, through Turo. So I have some direct experience with this guy. It's actually kind of cool. So they were founded in 2009, so quite a bit younger. Headquarters in San Fran, privately owned. And the whole idea was conceived in Boston when, I just picture this, like the dude is trying to make it to a rent-a-car office and he's driving through the snow in his bike. He's probably freezing cold. And as he's driving and riding his bike, he's probably seeing all of these parked cars along the road, just parked, not being used, that he could maybe rent. And I think that's where the idea came from, because Turo is just that. So instead of going to some big fleet like Enterprise, people can offer their cars to be rented, their own personal cars, to be rented through an app, and that's what we did. We got to Hawaii and we picked up some. Actually, it was kind of weird. It was like, I think he was Ukrainian. Just picked up some random Ukrainian dude's car in Hawaii. It was kind of a little weird, but he was a cool dude. So that is Turo. So people can provide their own cars to be rented and rent their own cars out. You know, set a time. I'm going to be here and use your car from this date to this date, and at the end of this date, you'll come pick it up, and all that stuff. It's kind of a cool model.
Yeah. Do you know? I'm curious why you decided to go that route.
Because Uber was mad expensive, and
So it's cheaper.
It was cheaper, yeah. Because our resort was outside. We were in Kona, but our resort was outside Kona a little bit, and so we would constantly be driving back and forth. And we wanted freedom, you know, like we didn't want to have to hail an Uber every time we wanted to go somewhere. We wanted to just, you know, get in the car and go to a beach or something like that, whatever the frick we wanted. And so, you know, it was the freedom. We have a car, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, go anywhere. And it was cheaper. So those were the two reasons we looked into it and ultimately decided on it. It was actually kind of nice.
Yeah. And for on the other side, I get to rent out my car and get paid for it. For doing very little, right? If I have a car that's not being used, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I thought so too. And that was actually a great experience. But let's take a look at their websites. Clearly there's some differences. One is like one is an enterprise. One is a corporate, huge fleet, been around forever, pick up at the airport, whatever. And one is like this Uber type app that, you know, crowdsources a rental car for you. But do they message these differences? Should we take a look at Enterprise first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So this is what Enterprise looks like. Enterprise.com. So reserve a vehicle, current deals. Oh, Daryl, they are guilty. They are guilty as sin.
Yeah, I mean, just instantly, there's no difference between this and Hertz.
No, let's take a look at Hertz, which is another one. Yeah, like pick up, drop off, reserve your car. Yeah, same thing. Same exact thing.
I think this kind of goes back to what we've said before, though. I do want, especially a rental car agency, I want to be able to quickly find a rental car.
Sure.
So I'm not saying that you can't quickly get into reserving a vehicle.
Right.
But there's lots of space there still to play with your messaging.
Absolutely, for sure. There's the same. No one, dude. Why is this? Everyone we review, they don't have any room for messaging. They don't even tout it. It's actually kind of crazy to me that marketers suck so bad at messaging that they don't. No one knows how to do it.
Yeah, especially old companies, right? I mean, this is an old company. So they probably just say, well, they're just going to find us on Google, say, I need to rent a car, click on Enterprise, put all of their ad budget into that, and there you go.
There you go. I mean, there might be some cachet that comes with Enterprise, I guess. I mean, like, it's old and trusted, I suppose. But still, but they're not the only player on the block now. You've got Uber and you've got Turo now that are, I'm sure, eating their market share. So you have to, if you want to be competitive, you have to talk about what makes you different, the valuable differences to your audience, so that it's a choice, not a comparison. You know. Yeah. So I mean, what are we seeing here? Current deals, rent after an accident, sign up for specials, Enterprise Plus program. Scroll down even further, meet the fleet. You're looking at different cars like compact cars, luxury cars, standard SUVs. Latest offerings. It's all just super boring. Super boring. Popular U.S. locations. It's like, okay, cool, great. Nothing special here, would you say?
Yeah, no, and I want to go to this question of your enterprise. You have competitors, direct competitors like Hertz that do the exact same thing as you, but then you also have new coming companies,
right? Like
Turo, right? So you've got competition on all sides, and you're being beat out on price. So how would you differentiate this, right? What would you do to get people to come to you instead of going with Turo, the cheaper option?
I have no idea. I don't know this space at all. I have no idea. I have no idea what they would do. Do you have an idea of what they could do?
I mean, one thing right off the bat is, why not go back to your original promise of we'll pick you up? Right?
I can't imagine they don't. They still do that.
I don't see that
though.
here, though, right? Like,
oh, sorry, on
nowhere.
a messaging. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, right? Like,
you're right.
Where is that? Where's we'll pick you up? Or, I don't know.
That's actually
maybe
crazy.
Differentiate with, like, oh, maybe we're going to go, Enterprise E for electrical. What if they're like all electrical vehicles?
Right.
Like that could be a really cool way to differentiate and, show that on your website.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy that they don't have that tagline anywhere here. We'll pick you up. That's like the big thing. Even on their commercials they have it, but not on their website. I agree. I thought you were asking me, how would you differentiate their product? And I was like, I don't know, dude. I have no idea how you would differentiate a fleet.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, from a messaging standpoint, like at least put that, because that's what you're known for. We'll pick you up 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Enterprise. Let's take a look at Turo. Here's what we get. Okay. This is what we're talking about. That's all you need.
Move your screen, Cam.
Oh, sorry. Stop sharing. Share this tab instead. Okay, cool. Can you see that now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Switching to Turo. Here we go. Okay, this is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Just a simple H1, H2. Skip the rental car counter. Oh, that's great hero language. Skip the rental car counter. Fantastic hero language. No one wants to deal with that. Everyone wants to just get in the car and go. Fantastic. Rent just about any car, just about anywhere. Okay, a little more vague. I don't think that that's their differentiating factor, but like, hey, you know what? Like a solid B plus for at least having an H1, H2 for messaging.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if they're saying like we're new, so we might not be everywhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe when you're in Cape Verde, this isn't the best option.
Probably not. What do we got here? Scrolling down. Airport pickup made easy. Easy pickup offered by hosts at hundreds of airports across the US, UK, Canada, France, and Australia. No lines, no paperwork, no hassle. This is great success language. Find and pick up the car with the app. Rest easy with 24/7 support. That's great hero language.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's great success language. Those are all the benefits of having done Turo over,
I love it.
chain.
Yeah, go up to the top again real quick. I just want to point out that they did not get rid of their store. Right?
Oh yeah, up here.
I can instantly come here and put where I'm going to be, where I want to go, and instantly book something here. Right? Like this is really quick booking, just like Enterprise had. But they still have, like, that's small compared to their messaging, right? Their messaging is what's big here. And then the store is just right there. Easy, accessible, perfect.
Still here, 100% agree. Like it's not an either or. I wonder if sometimes companies feel like it's an either or. They have to have so much real estate for like the main, whatever store, because they want to push. They need to move product, and so for some reason they think that bigger product space equals moving more product, which I don't think is correct. It's not an either or. You can have both. In fact, you need both. You should do both. Yeah,
and I love the visual messaging here too. Like you are never getting that car from a rental company.
Right, like an old convertible.
An old blue convertible. Like that's not even going to be an option.
No.
But for this, it could be. Right? If you're willing to pay enough money, I'm sure that's not cheap, that one specifically.
I mean, you can look up here, like they've got a banner that says drop the top, tap for summer convertibles. Like we can even just take a look at here what they offer. Yeah, got crazy cars.
Oh yeah, totally.
It almost reminds me of the Airbnb option, which is like the it's like, I can't remember what they call it, but it's like the variety stay where you go stay in some like you can go stay in like a flying saucer somewhere or something like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally agree.
Right, you don't get that with a hotel. Like
Nope. What else are we looking at here? I mean, so once we leave the success language and the hero language, we get into let the summer shine, let loose and soak up the sun, find a convertible and savor the summer. Okay, that's kind of fun. Seasonal thing, rent cars for any occasion, browse an incredible selection of cars from the everyday to the extraordinary. Okay, that's table stakes. I feel like everyone, even on even on Enterprise, like you could select between like a compact and a luxury vehicle. So
Yeah,
that's not.
I think kind of what they're saying is like for the occasion. So like even my wedding, I could maybe rent this for my getaway car or something, you know? Like,
yeah.
you know, like it doesn't just have to be for a trip you're taking. Maybe that's what they're saying. It's a little bit vague.
Yeah, it could be a little. If that's what they're saying, it needs to be a little clearer. Browse by make: Jeep, Tesla, Subaru, Porsche, BMW. Browse by destination. Okay, fun. Get your gearhead fix. Peruse the latest features and photos from the best cars from around the marketplace. Okay, kind of weird. That's like unique. Get your gearhead fix. That's a weird message. I'm not sure. I mean, it plays like hero language, but I'm not sure exactly what this means. Featured post. Look at this car, the Polaris Slingshot. Yeah, there's some crazy. Book a car, become a host. Okay, so what happens if we click here? Okay, so it clicked rent a car, takes me to this new page. Good H1 again, skip the rental car counter. Great H1.
That's the same one, basically.
Yeah, same one. Discover a better way to rent cars on Turo, the world's largest car sharing marketplace. Okay, so that's good product language. Car sharing marketplace. I think that's I'm okay with that, like as a differentiator. I'm not like, I feel like that's decently descriptive.
Yeah.
So, and then you come down here, nearly endless options, convenient delivery options. Okay, so there you go. Like, we'll pick you up. Sorry, Enterprise.
Yep.
Physical damage protection. Cool. So these are all great success language. What happens? What's the messaging when it's become a host? Start a car sharing business on Turo. Oh, very cool. So, I mean, I would love to see this maybe like make an extra buck by sharing your car. I think that would be the hero language.
I love that.
Yeah, something like that. Take control of your financial future while cultivating your entrepreneurial fire with Turo, the largest car sharing marketplace. Okay, so they do get into it in like the body copy, the entrepreneurial side hustle side of things. Entrepreneurs of all experience levels welcome. Oh, very cool. Built-in infrastructure to get you up and running. Okay, cool. So, I mean, they have messaging. It's there. It's kind of fun. And it's relatively decently clear, would you say?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like here they really could improve on the benefits of making money instead of just being an entrepreneur. Like, I don't think because you're renting your cars, you're becoming an entrepreneur. So I think they've leaned in a little bit too much on that point. But
Powerhouse power couple sharing a portfolio of Jeeps in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay,
see,
so these...
Yeah, like these people, it looks like they have made a business out of it.
Right.
You know, they've got a lot of cars that they put on here and rent out, which is great. It's awesome. I'm glad they do that. I don't think the average person on Turo is buying a bunch of cars so that they can be rented out on Turo.
Right.
I think the original thing for Turo was like, oh, there's a car just parked on the side of the road. Why don't they just rent that out?
Right.
So I think the language needs to be more geared towards like having a car sitting in your parking lot, put it to good use with Turo.
Right.
Let it make a buck instead of depreciating, you know, like something like that.
I think you just keyed into like, there's a similar problem in MLM worlds where like all these companies will tout like they're multi-million-dollar poster people about how much money they make selling Young Living or whatever, when in reality, like most people just want to make an extra like $500 a month. Like,
yeah,
I just want a little extra cash.
Yeah,
why not?
I agree. And it feels like if you only look at the people that are making a ton of money, it makes everybody else feel like they don't make any money at all. And so why even do it?
Kind of a weird, could be a shot, shoot yourself in the foot.
A little bit. It might get some people to be like, oh, like I could make that much money. That's amazing. Like I would love that. But it feels a little bit more difficult.
So what do you think, Daryl? Enterprise versus Turo, are they differentiated?
Oh yeah. I mean, Turo for sure is very different. There's also some negatives though. Like I'm not saying that Turo is always the way to go. And so that's why I feel like enterprise needs to show why it can still have some of the rental car market, because it will be priced out by Turo if it doesn't show those.
Yeah. I almost wonder, so thinking about how, so this is it. I don't know if this would differentiate enterprise among its like comparable peers like Hertz and all that stuff, but I've noticed this with Airbnb and traditional hotel chains like Hilton. But like Airbnb, it's whatever. You can go stay at someone's house. But that could be kind of weird because like you don't know who stayed there. It's not cleaned professionally. So you might get in some weird, like the beds might be weird. Like when we were in London, like our sheets weren't cleaned. Kind of a weird thing. Like you're relying on someone else to do all this stuff for you. Whereas a Hilton, it's like, it's spotless. It's professionally cleaned. It's professionally laundered. No surprises. You're guaranteed a nice stay. And that's what they tout on like their commercials is like, hey, you're not staying in some random like dude's house. It's kind of a sad, but did you ever hear about like the little baby that died in an Airbnb because there was like fentanyl on the carpet?
What? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, crazy. But like, I mean, I wouldn't capitalize on a tragedy like that. But like, if you were, you could say like, hey, like you're probably not going to find fentanyl in our hotel rooms. Like there are,
Yeah.
So I think enterprise could do that. Like the cars are going to be clean. They're going to be well kept. You're not going to have any surprises. That was the one thing like in Hawaii, like we did have like an engine problem with this dude's car. Like we were about to go like jump in the ocean with stingrays or something. And like the car was freaking out. And so that was a little weird. So you could totally lean into like it's a good experience. It's professionally kept all the time. And you could somehow create messaging around that, I think.
Yeah. And if you're a single owner, you might not be able to get out there to go help you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas enterprise, they've got employees that could go out and help you with your car issues.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some benefits, but enterprise leaves zero space on their website for messaging.
Yeah. No. 0, 0, 0. And Turo does a good job. Could be a little clearer. I think they could tout their differentiated product language a little bit more in your face. But I mean, hey, at least they have an H1, H2.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys for joining us, and see us next time on Differentiate or Die.
Hey yo.